So, Happy New Year! This is the first episode of Pete's Garden for 2017. And in this one, I am planting some hyacinth bulbs in the perennial border and doing my first bit of sowing for the year in the greenhouse. So, thanks for watching. If you're new, please do click subscribe, that'd be great. And whoever you are, leave some comments in the comment box because opinions are always appreciated. Thanks very much, and roll titles. So the sun's shining a bit at the moment, so I thought I'd show you my hyacinths that are going in. That's the picture of them. It just says hyacinths mixed. They're fragrant. I'm not actually sure if this is exactly the right time of year to be putting them in, but it says on the packet from August onwards. And if you're wondering why some of this soil is dark and the other bits are not, I'm using sort of a no-dig method now, and have just laid a lot of the spent compost from last year from the containers on top of the garden, and actually most of it has been taken in by the worms. Now, how far deep does it say? Oh, 5 inches deep. But some of them are growing quite well. I've got 15 of them. That's now that's a bit diseased there, isn't it? That part of the bulb. I think that might be too deep. So now, normally when I put the spent compost on, I would rake it to even it out. But actually, I think I'll rake it before planting it. Whoops, get that stone out. But actually, I think the rather hilly nature of this perennial bed at the moment actually rather suits it. I quite like it. So I've put one in there, and I'll put the rest in now and show you what this area looks like once I've put all 15 in. So there they are, all 15 are in now, and I've put quite a few in down here, almost up as far as the catmint, which you can see down there growing quite well, and I've put them quite sporadically so that they look like they're appearing quite naturally, and I've put them in amongst some of the other things. I've put one there in between the potentilla and the eryngium, and a couple here as well. You can't quite see that one because it's got dirt on the top of it, and that one there as well. So the perennial bed I'm quite happy with at the moment, especially given that it's only a year old, and these hyacinths, hopefully the cold won't be too much of a shock for them, because I had, when they're in the packet, I left them out here for a few days before putting them in, you know, as I say, I don't know if this is the right time of year to put them in, but it says any time from August onwards, and you know, January is definitely after August, so we'll see what happens. They were half price at the garden centre anyway, so who cares? No, I do care really, but there we go, they should look nice, and they'll only grow to about 10 inches tall apparently, so there we are. So it's very windy and rainy outside, as I'm sure it has been for everyone, and it's, you know, the start of January, and to be honest it's lovely just to be in the greenhouse getting to sow something. And I've chosen Leek Elefant as my first sowing of 2017, and not for any particular reason, just because they were given to me by I think it was my uncle actually that gave them to me, so thanks Uncle Mike. I'll just get the foil packet open, and I'm doing, I think it is 5, 10, 15, 40 of these, and that sounds like enough for now, and they'll probably get planted out in about April time, if not a bit later, and you harvest them from October onwards. I hope you can hear me above all the wind. This is what you get when you have a plastic greenhouse. So this is what the seeds look like. A bit like small bits of coal, really. And I'll put probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 per station, and then it's only once they get to about pencil thickness that I'll put them out. So and I was going to mix these with the compost with vermiculite, but I forgot to do that because that apparently aids the drainage of them. But as I say, I forgot, so I'll do that with all the other things I'm sowing. But it is John Innes #1 seed sowing compost. And it's certainly got a very fine tilt to it, which is what you want when you're sowing seeds. So there we go. The leeks for this winter, we actually haven't harvested yet, and they're deliberately late harvesting ones, so we'll probably get them in about March or April. I forget what they're called now. Leek Jaune Gros du Poitou we've grown to harvest this year, and they are looking quite healthy in the garden. So that's good, and they're supposed to be very finely tasting, and you have them with sausages. This one, as I say, I've just grown it because I was given them, and so I think, well, I might as well grow them, but that's why I'm only doing 40 of them, because knowing me, I'll probably grow some more of the other ones as well, and probably forget that I've done that and still get some from the garden centre as well. So probably end up with most of them. But that's the advantage of having an allotment as well as a garden. Now I'm putting these back into the foil over the foil packet because, as you can see, I'm a bit clumsy with them, and if any drop out, then they're just going to drop out over the area where they're already sown. So I'll put those back in the packet, and that gives me quite a lot to sow for next year, because I probably used only about 80 or 100 seeds here, and I've got about 500 seeds in the thing. Now I'm trying to do this quite finely because they're such small seeds. So you've got to make sure that you cover the whole lot. But of course they're black seeds on black soil, so it's quite hard to see whether I've actually covered up the seeds or not. So I'll just put a little bit more on, and a bit of a shout out to the Hawk channel, or whatever it's called these days, because Sean on there always says do a little and do it often, and that's a very good mantra for any gardener. So this is me doing a little and doing it often, because it's only taken about 5 minutes, as you can tell, and that's me sown my leeks for the year. There's a seed I can see I haven't covered. So there we are. And so shout out to Sean. And also the other thing he always says is don't forget to put a label in, and of course I've forgotten to write a label, so I shall do it now. I'm not going to spray them with water. I usually would. I'm not going to, because actually that soil is very moist anyway, and I will spray them if I notice that they get dry. So there we are, there's the label, and it's going in at the end there. Now I'm going to make a video which will be raw, unedited footage of me sowing some more seeds, and I'll put the link to that in the description below. So, thank you for watching. There'll be another episode of Pete's Garden along very soon. As I mentioned earlier, there is an unedited raw footage clip of me just sowing a load of stuff in the greenhouse, and that'll be available in the description box below. And yeah, what else is there to say? Oh, thumbs up if you liked this video, please, and if you're new, click subscribe, and comment and all that stuff. Thanks very much, and see you soon.